Election authorities have declared President Daniel Noboa the winner of the runoff vote after he secured a wider than expected lead against his leftist rival, Luisa González. With over 90% of votes counted, Noboa holds 56% of the vote, while González trails behind at 44%. The National Election Council has formally called the race in Noboa's favour, marking a strong show of support for the 37-year-old leader's tough stance on crime policies in a country battered by cartel violence and economic turmoil. Celebrating in his hometown of Olon, Noboa thanked his supporters and promised to get straight to work. However, his opponent, Luisa González, shocked by her poor performance, immediately disputed the results. González, who is seeking to become Ecuador's first women president, claimed electoral fraud, but offered no evidence to back her allegations. Noboa's win secures him a fresh 4-year term and a stronger mandate to continue his military-led security campaign. Let's listen in to what Noboa and González had to say.
Entonces, yo sí denuncio ante mi pueblo, ante los medios y ante el mundo que Ecuador está viviendo una dictadura y estamos enfrentando el peor y más grotesco fraude electoral de la historia de la República del Ecuador.
Esta victoria ha sido histórica también. Una victoria de más de 10 puntos, una victoria de más de 1 millón de votos donde no queda ninguna duda de quién es el ganador. Y eso.
We move over to the African continent now, where Gabon's military leader, General Brice Oligui Nguema, has been declared the winner of Saturday's presidential election, taking over 90% of the vote, according to provisional results. The former coup leader, who ended the Bongo family's nearly 60-year rule in 2023, now consolidates power through the ballot box. This is what the leader said after his win.
J'en appelle à la sagesse des uns, des autres et de tous les bâtisseurs. Et de tous ceux qui m'ont accordé leur suffrage. D'attendre la proclamation des résultats définitifs par la Cour constitutionnelle pour célébrer la victoire du peuple gabonais. Soyons des bâtisseurs de paix et de justice. Que Dieu vous bénisse. Que Dieu bénisse le Gabon. Je vous remercie pour cette belle victoire.
Nguema faced 7 opponents, but critics say the electoral system and new constitution were stacked in his favour, with key opposition figures barred from running. His nearest rival, former Prime Minister Bele Nneze, scored just over 3%. While the government praised the high turnout and peaceful voting, reports of ballot irregularities and poor organisation raised concerns. Nguema now begins a 7-year mandate, vowing to fight corruption and end the legacy of bad governance that has left over a third of Gabon's people in poverty despite its rich resources. We now move to North America, where US police have arrested a 38-year-old Cody Barmer for arson and terrorism after an attack on the official residence of Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. The fire broke out in a separate part of the residence while Shapiro and his family were inside, but fortunately no one was injured. Shapiro, who was woken by a police trooper and evacuated with his family, has condemned the rising political violence, urging that it must end. Let's take a listen to what he said.
Well, we do know that this attack was targeted. We don't know the person's specific motive yet, but we do know a few truths. First, this type of violence is not okay. This kind of violence is becoming far too common in our society.
Authorities say Barmer, who had homemade incendiary devices on him, climbed a fence to access the property, evading police before setting the fire. He now faces charges including attempted murder, terrorism and aggravated arson. Blue Origin is making history with its first all-female flight crew launching into space on Monday morning. The mission NS-31 marks the 11th human flight of the new Shepard program and featured a star-studded crew, including journalist Gayle King, pop icon Katy Perry and activist Amanda Nguyen, former NASA engineer Shepard, producer Carrie Flynn and Lauren Sánchez, who helped bring the mission together. The 11-minute journey will take off from West Texas and give the crew a brief taste of what weightlessness and stunning views of Earth. Officials say the mission is about more than just space travel. It's a symbol of possibility, representation and inspiration for women everywhere. This is the first time since 1963 that an all-female crew has flown to space. Supporters will hope it will spark a new generation of women to aim high and maybe even for the stars. Well, that's all we have time for. We will continue to bring you more news updates from around the globe.